Meet KONFLUX, our latest Apex Lab mineral profile. KONFLUX was born not as a product launch, but because there was a problem that we could not solve. Sometimes coffee did not need more intensity, but it needed more harmony and balance. KONFLUX exists because sometimes coffee does not need more intensity or more acidity or more brightness, but because it needs more cohesion. It all started in May 2025 in the World of Coffee in Jakarta, when we introduced KONFLUX to all 50 competitors in the World Championship. Now, back in May 2025, you might have seen these bottles around the World of Coffee in Jakarta, and we made 50 units given to 50 competitors in the World Championship. We actually produced only 100 of these units. 50 of those went to competitors and another 50 that went to all of our distributors and Apex partners around the world. Now, we took the opportunity of the World Championship to have sort of like a feedback loop with competitors and with partners. What we wanted to do is bring this profile to the competition world, test it in the most competitive environments and get feedback from competitors. It turns out that multiple of these competitors decided to use this profile for their Brewers Cup championship, even if it was given to them only a couple days before the competition. And we even had Carlos Escobar, who came third in the World Brewers Cup championship, who mostly used KONFLUX as part of his recipe. Now, the feedback was incredible straight away. We had plenty of people that told us that this was doing something that no other mineral profile could do before. It was giving a lot of harmony, a lot of balance, while bringing a great texture and sweetness to the cup. We later also used KONFLUX in the Australian AeroPress Championship, where Nemo Pop won using this profile mainly. And then I myself won the Australian Brewers Cup Championship, also primarily using KONFLUX. And then to top that, Nemo went to the World AeroPress Championship and won the whole thing. Now, where does KONFLUX sit in the entire Apex ecosystem? Basically, it's designed to bring a lot of harmony, a lot of balance to coffee, not to bring more brightness or not to bring more intensity in general. KONFLUX will be part of a new series of 3 mineral profile. And similar to the first series of 3 with tonic, jam, and lilac, KONFLUX will actually sit in the middle, similar to where jam is, pushing everything mouthfeel related. So you'll get a bit more texture, you'll get a bit more roundness, and you'll get this unmatched, silky, and velvety mouthfeel. Now, from a design perspective, because we wanted it to be so different from the rest, we had to change the recipe drastically. And this is the first ever profile that we have made that does not use any magnesium. Now, if you ask us, we generally would say that magnesium is one of these top tier ions that is, absolutely phenomenal, that is great. But what magnesium does is that it brings a lot of brightness and fruitiness into coffee. And because this is not what we wanted to push with this profile, we decided to cut magnesium entirely. We also decided to use a new mineral that's not an ion called silica. Now, silica is quartz, or pretty much sand, high quality refined sand that you can find, and it is designed to add a lot of mouthfeel into coffee. It's designed to add this beautiful, round, and almost oily texture to coffee. Now, there are a lot of spring waters from all around the world, namely Fiji water, that naturally contains a lot of silica into it. And that's actually one of the reasons why this kind of water is highly prized and it is really popular amongst consumers around the world because of its unmatched mouthfeel created by silica itself. Now, in front of me, I have a wash process geisha from Peñas Blancas in Colombia. And I'm gonna be seasoning that coffee using some of that KONFLUX that we have right here. And what I thought initially with this coffee is that it has great acidity, it has great floral notes, but it's clearly lacking mouthfeel and the acidity is clearly overpowering. And so what I want to do here is I just want to balance everything. I want to compensate that lack of mouthfeel and I want to bring the acidity down a little bit. And so I'm going to be adding 3 drops to start with. Give it a little swirl. And straight away, what I enjoy with KONFLUX is that we don't have a massive change in flavors. Now, we're still within this apricot, jasmine, sort of like citrus notes that the geisha variety has to offer, especially as washed. But it's just bringing the intensity of the mouthfeel, it's bringing that extra layer of texture that this geisha was missing. It's bringing the acidity down a little bit, it's just like creating a lot of harmony into the cup. Now you could say that jam could do a very similar job, but jam was designed to sort of like neutralize the acidity a little bit more, and is designed to make coffees really heavy. And this is not meant to make coffees heavy, it's meant to just add more texture without making the brew overwhelmingly heavy. And I find that KONFLUX works really well in that case with wash processed coffees, where you want to boost the texture a little bit, but you don't want to mute everything. For wash processed coffees, I enjoy using KONFLUX alongside tonic. I usually use tonic for my wash processed coffees in order to boost the acidity, make them more vibrant and juicy, but often they might still be lacking a bit of texture and a bit of mouthfeel, and this is where KONFLUX pairs really well with it. When working with natural processed coffees or coffees that have gone through some sort of fermentation, and you want to balance that high acidity that you might be getting, it works really well when you pair it with jam. So both profile bringing a lot of body, a lot of roundness, and sort of mitigating this high acid that you might be getting from some of these coffees. And you'll be getting, I promise, an amazing mouthfeel and a lot of sweetness. And finally, I also like using it in combination with lilac, also for potentially wash processed coffees, but primarily with geishas. So similar to what lilac would do, it adds another layer of silkiness, another layer of velvety quality, and a great texture overall to coffee. So KONFLUX was never about pushing coffees further in their intensity or in their style, but it's designed to create a lot of harmony, which is why the name KONFLUX, sort of like conflux of different rivers, different streams, originates from. We want to be able to create cohesion, we want to be able to create harmony and structure, and we want to be able to bring everything together. So go to apex lab.com and try KONFLUX now.